Fantasy football is right around the corner, which means I finally get to start to talk about fantasy. I love fantasy football, so I've been excited to do these types of videos for quite some time now. A quick disclaimer before I do start this video though, is that my receivers to avoid are based on their average draft position. So while I'd avoid them where they're slated to be picked, I would grab them later on if they continued to slide down the board. With that out of the way, let's get right into my ranking.
Number 5. Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju had a stellar year when Antonio Brown was still in Pittsburgh, but ever since Brown left, he's had troubles replicating the same level of success. He's a really good wide receiver too, but he doesn't have what it takes to be a true top option on a team. Last year he had 9 touchdowns and over 800 yards, and that's not bad, but I still feel like he gets overhyped a little bit too much. I'm really expecting Pittsburgh offense as a whole to have a sharp decline, since I think Big Ben is done. There's no other solid quarterback on the roster, so I'm expecting the receivers to take a big hit because of this. Number 4. Michael Thomas. Thomas had an injury-riddled season last year, and it looks like that won't be changing this season. He just underwent ankle surgery in June, and based on his projected recovery timetable, he may not be back until late October or early November. Even if he does come back fully healthy, I'd still be concerned about his production. He won't have Drew Brees throwing to him anymore, which I think could really hurt his numbers. Taysom Hill, while fun, is definitely not a franchise quarterback, and I don't think Jameis Winston is the answer either. With his injury woes plus uncertainty at the quarterback position, I'd avoid drafting Thomas. If he were to fall really deep into the draft, he could be worth a flyer though. Number 3. Anyone on Houston. Okay, so I'm sort of cheating here by including an entire team, but Houston's roster is truly sad. They could be one of the worst teams in recent memory. Because of this, I would avoid drafting anyone at all on this offense. Brandon Cooks is a solid receiver, and Kiki Kuti has proven to be good for a big play occasionally, but who's going to throw for them? Deshaun Watson is still in legal trouble and wants to be traded anyways. All they have behind him is Tyrod Taylor and rookie Davis Mills. That's not to mention their offensive line, which is just starting a massive overhaul. Cooks won't have time to get open, and the quarterbacks won't be able to make the big-time throws to capitalize on his talent. Plus, defenses will be able to focus on Cooks since there isn't really anyone else that's a threat. Avoid Houston at all costs. Number 2. Will Fuller. Will Fuller has always been one of the most frustrating players for me because when he's on the field, he produces. He's an explosive player that can go for a touchdown on any given play. The only problem is he's never on the field. He's missed 27 games throughout his 5-year career, and he had surgery this offseason to repair a groin injury. Now, it's possible that he gets back on the field and has some big games, but I just can't count on him to stay healthy. Also, Miami has a lot of competition at receiver with Devontae Parker, rookie Jalen Waddle, and tight end Mike Gesicki also getting a lot of targets. And it looks like Tua may not be the best quarterback to take advantage of Fuller's amazing deep game. Fuller can be tempting, but I can't trust him to stay healthy. Number 1. Odell Beckham Jr. What a fall from grace for Odell. Ever since leaving New York, he just hasn't been the same player. In Cleveland, he's been a big name without the stats to back it up. And this upcoming season, he'll be coming back from a torn ACL. Now, I've heard training camp rumors that Odell and Baker are finally starting to click, but even then, I don't think he'll be too productive. Cleveland is a run-first team, and their offense seemed to operate a lot better once Odell was off the field because of his injury. I think Baker is comfortable with the guys he has already, and the Browns want to use Chubb and Hunt more anyways. Odell could have decent stats, but he definitely isn't a top receiver anymore. So be careful not to draft him just for his name.
And that does it for my 5 receivers you should avoid this upcoming fantasy draft. Were there any players that I left out, Or were there any players that you think didn't deserve to be on my list? I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Thanks for watching Oz Sports. I'm Tommy Osborne.